There's a phenomenon that happens in life, one that many of us know all too well. It's that pull, that magnetic force that draws us towards certain types of people, time and time again. You felt it, the rush, the obsession, the need. You think you're in love, but deep down something's off. Something feels like it's not quite what you imagined. You feel both exhilarated and drained, both seen and invisible, both safe and terrified. You think it's them. You think it's something about them that makes you feel this way. Maybe it's their charm, their mystery, their intensity. But here's the hard truth. It's not them. It's you. The patterns you keep falling into aren't coincidental. They aren't random. They are psychological reflections of the parts of yourself that you've yet to confront. They are mirrors showing you what you haven't healed, what you haven't fully understood, and what you've been avoiding. You're not drawn to these people because they're perfect. You're drawn to them because they reflect something within you, something unresolved, something unacknowledged. And this is where it gets tricky. If you want to change the people you attract, you have to first change the way you see yourself. This isn't about blaming the other person or saying you've been victimized by your relationships. It's about realizing that in every interaction, there is an opportunity to understand your own psyche better, to look inward and ask, why do I keep attracting the same type of person? What do they mirror about me? The truth is, there are 3 types of people you keep falling for, and each of them holds up a mirror reflecting aspects of your own psychology, your own emotional patterns, and your unresolved wounds. And until you understand the deeper psychological roots of why you're drawn to them, you will continue to stay stuck in the same loops, forever trying to fix what was never broken to begin with. Let's explore the 3 types of people you keep falling for and the psychological mirror they hold up to you. Ye, the charmer. The mirror of your desire for validation. You know exactly the type I'm talking about, the one with the magnetic presence, the one who walks into a room and makes everyone feel like they're the most important person in the world. They speak with confidence, their eyes have that sparkle, and they can make you feel like you are the center of their universe. For a moment, it's intoxicating. You're hooked. They're charming, witty, full of life, and it feels like they are exactly what you've been looking for. But the charm fades, doesn't it? And when it does, you realize that what once felt like passion is now an emotional roller coaster. Suddenly they're distant. They're hot and cold, and you're left chasing after them, trying to regain that initial connection, that feeling of being special. And here's the truth you won't want to hear. You're not in love with them. You're in love with the way they make you feel validated, seen, wanted. This is the mirror they hold up to you, your deep need for external validation. When you're drawn to a charmer, it's not just about their qualities. It's about your unconscious belief that your worth is tied to someone else's perception of you. You think their attention, their affection will complete you, will make you whole, when in reality, you are already whole, with or without it. You crave their validation because deep down, you've been taught to measure your worth by how others see you. You haven't learned yet that the validation you seek must come from within. You cannot depend on someone else to make you feel valuable. If you continue seeking validation from external sources, you'll keep finding yourself in relationships with charmers who can make you feel on top of the world one moment and then bring you crashing down the next. The more you chase this external validation, the further you move away from your own sense of self-worth. The only way out of this cycle is to stop looking outside for what you already possess. You are enough just as you are. 2, the victim, the mirror of your fear of abandonment. You're drawn to them because they need you. They need your help, your protection, your support. They are constantly in crisis, perpetually caught in drama and struggle. There's always something wrong, always something broken. They play the role of the victim, always needing someone to fix them. And for some reason, you find yourself in the same emotional dance, trying to save them, trying to hold their world together. But there's a catch. The more you give, the more they take. The more you invest, the more they demand. And soon enough, you're exhausted, drained, but you can't walk away. because in your heart you believe that without you they will be lost. Here's the mirror they reflect back to you: your fear of abandonment. At your core, you are afraid of being left behind. You are afraid that if you don't play the role of the savior, you will be discarded. So you become entangled in relationships with people who are emotionally unavailable, people who constantly need rescuing, people who will never truly heal. You do this not out of love, but out of fear. Fear of being unimportant. Fear that if you don't fill the role of the rescuer, you'll be forgotten, irrelevant, or left alone. But here's the painful truth. You cannot save someone who is not ready to save themselves. The more you try to carry someone else's emotional baggage, the more you lose yourself. You start to believe that their needs are more important than your own, and you stop honoring your boundaries, your emotional health, your peace. You're not helping them by staying. You are enabling their victimhood. And in doing so, you continue to perpetuate the cycle of fear, the fear that you are not enough on your own, the fear that without the role of the rescuer, you will be abandoned. You must break this cycle. Start by learning that your worth is not tied to your ability to save others. And only when you stop playing the hero will you give them the chance to heal themselves and allow yourself to heal as well. Sen, the abuser, the mirror of your deepest self-doubt. This is the most painful of them all. The one who manipulates, controls, belittles, and drains you. They make you feel small, insignificant, unworthy. They feed on your insecurities and twist them until you question your very reality. One moment, they tell you they love you. The next, they accuse you of being everything that's wrong with them. Their love feels toxic, suffocating, yet addictive. You feel like you're trapped in a web, trying to make things right, trying to prove your worth, but nothing ever seems to satisfy them. The psychological mirror they hold up to you is this: your deepest self-doubt. They reflect your belief that you are not worthy of love unless you're perfect, unless you're always giving, always sacrificing. They mirror the part of you that believes you deserve to be treated this way. The part of you that has been taught to settle for less than you deserve, to accept mistreatment, because you fear that you will never find better. You believe that love is supposed to hurt, that sacrifice is part of the deal, and that your worth is tied to how much you can endure. But here's the ugly truth. This is not love. This is manipulation, control, and emotional abuse. You are being dragged down by your own unresolved feelings of unworthiness. The more you accept the abuse, the more you tell yourself that you are not worthy of anything better. But you are. You are worthy of love that uplifts you, that honors you, that respects you. The only way out of this cycle is to recognize that you do not deserve to be treated this way. You do not deserve to be punished for the mistakes of others. You are not responsible for their emotional state or their happiness. And once you accept this, once you realize that you do not need to earn love through pain and sacrifice, you will begin to step into your own power. These three personality types, the charmer, the victim, and the abuser, are not what they appear to be. They are mirrors reflecting back to you the parts of yourself that you have yet to face. They are reflections of your own unresolved wounds, your own fears, and your own desires. You have to understand this. You are not drawn to them by accident. You are drawn to them because they mirror your unconscious beliefs about love, validation, worth, and acceptance. They show you the parts of yourself that need to heal. And until you recognize this, you will continue to attract the same type of people into your life, forever caught in a cycle of seeking love outside of yourself. But here's the breakthrough moment. You can change this. You can change the people you attract into your life by changing the way you see yourself, by healing the wounds that are drawing these people toward you, by stopping the patterns that keep you stuck. When you learn to validate yourself, when you stop seeking approval from others, when you finally break free from the need to be needed, that's when you stop attracting these personality types. That's when you start attracting love that is healthy, love that is whole, and love that reflects your own worth. The power to change the types of people you attract lies within you. It always has. All you need to do is look within, heal what's broken, and trust that the people who come into your life will reflect the person you are becoming, a person who knows their worth, who refuses to settle, and who stands firm in the truth of their own strength. Now take the first step. Let go of the old patterns, heal the wounds, and step into the life you deserve. It starts with you. You've spent so long living in reaction, in patterns that feel familiar but hollow, constantly reaching outward for something that could complete you, something that could fix the holes inside. And every time the cycle repeats itself, the charm fades, the need intensifies, the fear creeps in, and suddenly you're caught again. But what if it's time to stop chasing after external solutions, after other people, to fill what's been empty within you? What if the real power lies in the spaces between your thoughts, in the moments of stillness, in the pauses where you finally realize you are the answer you've been seeking all along? What you're drawn to isn't an accident, but it isn't destiny either. It's a reflection of your inner state, the parts of you that are still reaching for what you haven't yet claimed within yourself. And until you recognize the power within you to break free, to stop living in reaction, you continue to attract the same type of people. Not because of fate, but because of your beliefs, your inner alignment, and your deepest desires. You've been chasing after love, chasing after validation, chasing after significance, believing that if someone else could just give you these things, you would finally feel whole. But wholeness does not come from the outside world. It is not something you can receive from another person or a perfect relationship. Wholeness is something you must find within yourself. What if you could stop looking for your worth in the eyes of others? What if you could stop searching for validation in the fleeting moments of affection, in the empty promises of people who don't even understand their own worth? What if you could stop betraying yourself for the sake of someone else's approval? The power of radical self-discovery. It's time to stop giving pieces of yourself away in exchange for someone else's fleeting attention. It's time to stop abandoning your own needs for the sake of relationships that demand too much of you. True love, real connection, begins within. When you finally decide to stand in your truth, when you embrace the parts of yourself that you've kept hidden, when you stop running from your shadows and instead choose to understand them, you will realize that the love you've been chasing is already inside you. It's not found in someone else's gaze or in the promises they make. It's found in your own reflection, in the courage to face yourself honestly and to say, I am enough, just as I am. I am worthy of love without needing to prove it. That's the moment you stop needing anyone to complete you. You stop giving them the power to define you, to shape your reality, to tell you who you are. You become the creator of your own life, the architect of your own destiny. And when you do, the people you attract will reflect that wholeness back to you. No more chasing, no more settling. Just pure, authentic connection. The moment of release. In every relationship, there's a point where you have to ask yourself, is this still serving me? Is this person, this dynamic, this pattern really giving me the love and the growth I need? Or am I just trying to prove something to myself that I'm worthy, that I'm enough, that I can make it work, even when the foundation is crumbling? It's time to let go of the need to fix things that aren't yours to fix. The moment you release the attachment to these toxic patterns, these emotionally draining relationships, you will feel a weight lift. Release does not mean giving up on love. It means giving up on the idea that love is something you need to fight for, something you need to earn. You do not need to prove your worth through suffering. You do not need to sacrifice yourself for the sake of someone else's healing. You do not need to constantly be the caretaker, the fixer, the one who always holds it together. You are allowed to walk away. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to protect your peace. And the moment you do that, the moment you release the need for validation, for approval, for control, is the moment you step into your power, reclaiming your boundaries. When you learn to honor your own needs, to set healthy boundaries with the people around you, you will find that your relationships begin to shift. You stop tolerating behavior that drains you, stops allowing people to walk all over you, and start demanding the same respect and love that you give to others. You don't have to fight for love. You don't have to beg for attention. Your energy, your presence, your love is a gift, and it deserves to be treated as such. Reclaiming your boundaries isn't just about saying no to others. It's about saying yes to yourself. It's about making space for your own needs, your own desires, your own happiness. Boundaries are not walls that keep people out. They are fences that preserve your peace, your sense of self, your emotional and spiritual well-being. The moment you start drawing these boundaries, you will stop being swept away in relationships that mirror your fears. You will stop being stuck in cycles that drain you. You will attract relationships that nourish you, relationships that respect you, relationships that reflect the love you have already cultivated within yourself, the courage to live for yourself. One of the most empowering things you can do in life is to make the decision to live for yourself, not for someone else, not for their approval, but for the deepest part of who you are, the part of you that has been crying out for attention, for healing, for peace, the part of you that knows you deserve more than what you've been settling for. But living for yourself requires courage. It requires the willingness to put your needs first, to say, I am enough, and to stop waiting for someone else to affirm that. It requires the strength to walk away from relationships that aren't serving you, and to embrace the discomfort of solitude, knowing that solitude is not loneliness, but the space in which you find yourself again. And that space is sacred. When you choose to live for yourself, when you choose to invest in your own growth and healing, everything changes. You stop chasing after people who reflect your wounds, and you begin to attract people who reflect your strength, your authenticity, and your light. You start to become the person who deserves the love you've always been seeking, letting go of fear. The most powerful act of healing is to let go of fear. Fear of being alone, fear of being rejected, fear of not being enough. All these fears are illusions, stories we've been conditioned to believe. Fear only holds power over you if you give it permission. You do not have to live in fear anymore. The moment you let go of the fear of rejection, of being unworthy, of being abandoned, you will find that your life begins to unfold with ease. You stop trying to control the uncontrollable. You stop clinging to relationships that were never meant to last, and you allow your life to flow in a natural rhythm. The fear doesn't control you. You control it. And once you master the art of releasing fear, you unlock your true power. You stop being a prisoner to your past, your wounds, your limitations. You begin to walk forward with the unwavering belief that the life you want is not only possible, it is already on its way to you. Embracing your authentic power, you have always had the strength, the wisdom, the power within you. But for so long, you've been looking outward, seeking approval, validation, and love in places that never quite filled the void. Now is the time to turn inward, to stop seeking what is already within you. Your power is in your authenticity. It is in your ability to stand in your truth unapologetically and to refuse to shrink for anyone. Your authenticity is your gift to the world. And when you show up as your true self, you will attract the people, the opportunities, and the love that reflect that. So stop living in reaction. Stop chasing the validation that only brings temporary satisfaction. Start living for yourself. Start living in your truth. Start creating the life you've always dreamed of. You have everything you need to rise. This is your time. This is your moment. Step into it because you are worthy. You are enough. You are unstoppable. And nothing can stand in your way. The journey you've been on, the struggles you've faced, the relationships you've endured, they were never meant to define you. They were always meant to teach you something, to show you the parts of yourself that you needed to heal, the aspects of your soul that were begging for attention, and the strength within you that was waiting to be unleashed. Now, you stand at the edge of transformation. The past no longer has the power to control you, because you finally realized that it was never the people around you who dictated your worth. It was always about the way you saw yourself. And now, with this new understanding, with this newfound power, you can choose to step into the life that you deserve. You can choose to stop running from the parts of you that you've kept hidden in the dark, to stop living in reaction to the patterns that have kept you stuck. You are no longer a prisoner of your past, your fears, or your doubts. You are the architect of your own destiny. The pain that once controlled you, that once held you captive, is now your fuel. Your wounds are no longer weaknesses. They are the very sources of your strength, your resilience, and your wisdom. And every time you look in the mirror, you will see not just the scars, but the story of a person who refused to stay broken, a person who refused to let life define them, a person who, no matter how many times they fell, always rose again. And as you rise, you will see the people who reflect your light instead of your wounds, the relationships that nourish you, that elevate you, and that stand beside you, not because you need to be fixed, but because they see you, the real you. They see your strength, your truth, and your power, and they love you for it. The truth is, you are enough. You've always been enough. You don't need anyone's approval to validate your worth. You don't need anyone's love to prove you are worthy of love. Your worth is inherent, built into your soul, the moment you came into this world. This is your moment to fully claim your life, to stop waiting for permission, to stop shrinking for others, to stop apologizing for your existence. The power, the love, the freedom you've been searching for has always been inside of you. And now you're ready to step into it. So walk forward with confidence. Walk forward with the knowledge that you are worthy of everything this world has to offer. You are worthy of love, of peace, of success, and of happiness. No longer will you settle for less than you deserve. This is your life. It always has been. And now you're finally ready to live it. Step into it, because the best is yet to come.